Hey, what's up? This is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to do a fight breakdown for Liam Paro versus Richardson Hitchins. Really quick, if you like the videos, please take the time right now, subscribe to the channel. Literally takes one click. Also, if you could, hit the thumbs up button. Does help, it shows love, and it supports the channel. Let's jump right into this. We're going to start off with a resume. Who has the better resume? We know who doesn't. That's Richardson. There's really no comparison. We know who has the better resume. And there's one name that stands out between these two guys. Matias. Who has that name on their resume? That's Liam Paro. He has that name. The most, at one time, feared guy in the division, Liam Paro, has that guy's name on his resume. He's the one who went over there, took the man's strap. He's the guy. Liam Paro did that. When it comes to resume, I got to give it to Liam Paro. Richardson, he's still trying to climb his way up the ladder, but he doesn't have a name like Matias on his resume. And he doesn't have a guy who has a moniker of being the most feared guy to the division. Liam Paro has that. Got to give it to him. Power. So let's see. When we look at both the guys, Liam Paro has 25 wins, 15 KOs, 0 losses. While we look at Hitchinson's, he has 18 wins, 7 KOs, 0 losses. Obviously, I'm going to look at Liam Paro. I think he has more power. Surprisingly, he's a lot smaller than Richardson, which is surprising. Liam has like a funny kind of frame. He looks bigger sometimes, then he looks smaller. But when they're side by side, yeah, Richardson, he's a bigger guy. But nonetheless, who's got more pop? Because size doesn't mean a whole lot when it comes to pop. You can look at somebody like Inoue, tons of pop. So when it comes to power, we have Liam Paro. Let's see, boxing IQ. This one's going to be interesting. And I do think this is going to be a close one, but this one's going to be interesting. Boxing IQ. I think both guys are point fighters at heart. I think they're both naturally defensive guys, and I think they are point fighters. I think guys like these guys master the amateur division. They master it, and very few guys can take that way of fighting or that system and transfer that into the pros. And these two have successfully done that. This fight is going to be really interesting because you're dealing with two guys who are, for the most part, defensive-minded. And when I say defensive-minded, I don't mean you don't necessarily have to be a guy who backs up to be defensive-minded. You can just be a little hesitant to throw sometimes. And I think this fight is going to be really interesting, and it's going to tell a lot about well, more so Richardson, his inner desire to be a world champ. But when it comes to boxing IQ, I'm still going to give it to Liam Paro because he has more wins. It literally makes the most sense. He has more wins and he has Matias on his resume. And therefore, he's going to get boxing IQ. Plus, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's a very calculated guy. Liam Paro is the definition of somebody who does all the basics correct. So he's not super flashy or anything like that. But what he does do, he does perfectly. When he throws a jab, it's a perfect jab. When he throws a two, it's a perfect two. When he's backing away, it's perfect the way his footwork is. Like everything is perfectly placed. And I'm not knocking Richardson either. I think he does things extremely well. I think he's a great counterpuncher. And he's great at angling off. So, but still, 25 wins, 15 KOs. He almost as many KOs as you have fights. So I have to give it to Liam Paro. Let's see. Speed. I think this is a tie. I think Richardson is fast, but I also think that he has great timing. I think Liam Paro is fast, but I think he too has great timing. What would be the separation between the two? I don't think there's much in terms of, speed. I don't think there's a separation right there. I think this fight's going to come down to two things. Well, three. Consistency, cardio, and at some point, you're going to have to show your heart because you're going to have to take it from the champ. Let's see. We have defense. I think, again, they're both defensive-minded guys. I'm going to give it a tie. Liam Paro, most of his defense is in his legs. If he doesn't want to engage, he just won't be there. While you look at Richardson, if he doesn't want to engage, he's probably just going to be a slippery guy, and he's just going to be moving all around. It's going to be real slippery. Might go into a shell. things of that nature. But nonetheless, they're both pretty defensive-minded guys. Like I said, they're not like known for knockouts or anything like that. So yeah, sure, but defense, I think it's a tie. I don't think there's a standout between them. Let me say it like that. I don't think there's a standout thing that either guy does that makes him, more superior than the other guy when it comes to defense. Mental toughness. Got to go with Liam Paro. One, you got more fights. You got more fights. Period. You got more fights, and you have Matias on your record. Listen, nobody wanted to fight that guy. Absolutely nobody wanted to fight that guy. You have to address the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room and the defining factor is going to be Matias. Throughout this entire breakdown, it's going to be Matias. The fact that nobody wanted to fight this guy, and Richardson said he wanted to fight him, but, I'm not here to say he did or he didn't. Nonetheless, he didn't. Period. He didn't. He didn't fight him. Liam Paro fought him when he was hot. Liam Paro fought him when he was on fire. Liam Paro fought him when nobody else was stepping up to the plate. It was Liam Paro. You got to give it to Liam Paro for mental toughness. Not only did he fight him, he fought him on his home ground. You got to give him mental toughness. It's not like you're winning you're going to go and it's going to be some even playing field or some even ground and you guys are just showing up to the field. No. I went to enemy territory and I fought the enemy in his own territory where he was comfortable, where he was supported, where he was cheered on. Mental toughness, Liam Paro. Body work. I think Richardson he's better at body work. I think he's a better body puncher. He has those long arms, great long reach. I think he's a better body puncher. I think let me put it like this. If there's going to be one guy who's going to say, you know what, I'm going to commit to the body, it'll probably be Richardson. I don't see Liam Paro doing that. His bread and butter is that jab and doubling and tripling the jab, and just keeping distance and controlling distance. That's one thing I have to say about both guys again. And they're very similar. They both control distance very well. That's why I really want to see who controls not only the pace in this fight, but also the distance in which they choose to fight in this fight. I want to see who's going to be the guy who says, no, this far, no further. Because I'm curious, because they are very similar in a lot of aspects. Let's see. Adaptability. Got to give it to Liam Paro again. 25 wins, 15 KOs, 0 losses. You look at Richardson, 18 wins, 7 KOs, 18 wins versus 25 wins. I don't care, how you cut it. He would be more willing to adapt the styles, and he's seen more styles in the pros, so therefore I got to give it to him. Durability. I'm gonna listen. The John Bauza fight with Richardson. I don't know why Richardson was so timid to really just step on the gas. It wasn't like Bauza was doing anything special, and it wasn't like he was trying to win. And it didn't look like neither guy was trying to win. And honestly, I feel like either Richardson just doesn't like getting hit, which nobody does. I'm not expecting him to fall in love with getting hit. But at some stage, you have to understand you're in a fight. And sometimes you have to step on the gas. And stepping on the gas means getting uncomfortable. And getting uncomfortable means getting closer. And getting closer means putting yourself in harm's way. Yourself in harm's way means getting hit. It's as simple as that. Why you look at Liam Paro, one thing I can say about the Aussies, they're not afraid to get hit. They're not afraid of a fight. They're not afraid to roll up their sleeves and get dirty. They're not afraid of that. That is one thing that I think that's just ingrained in that culture. They're just not afraid of that. And I look at Richardson. I'm not saying that he's afraid of it, but I'm just saying he's very wary of it. Now I don't know if there's something that he knows about his chin that I don't know or you don't know. But I will say he will protect it at all costs. While you look at Liam Paro, he's willing to put it on the line. I've seen him do it. Matias, most dangerous guy, took a life in the ring. That guy, the avoided guy, that guy, Liam Paro. Cardio. So I mentioned this earlier. I think this is going to be one of the defining factors in the fight, the cardio in this fight. Now, Liam Paro has, accused Richardson of being like, a 5-round fighter, a front runner, basically. And now I don't know if he really believes that or not. But after watching the Bowser fight again, you know what? Again, I'm going to use the Bowser fight for Richardson the same way I'm going to use Matias for Paro. You could have stepped on the gas. You're definitely faster than Bowser. I believe I'm saying it right. Bowser, you're definitely faster than him. You were hitting him at will. There was nothing he could do to you. I don't know why you couldn't get him out of there. I don't know why you didn't finish him off. And it wasn't a thing that you couldn't finish him off. It wasn't a thing that you couldn't get him out of there. I just believe you just didn't want to step on the gas that you already secured with the thought that you had won every single round. But here's the other thing. Richardson, his gas tank diminished by around 6, 7. It was very visible and clear. Now, I don't know, I don't want to hear some backstory or anything like that. I'm not going to make excuses for anybody. I don't know him, and I'm definitely not in his camp. So I'm not going to make excuses for anybody. But there was a significant difference in his cardio, 6 and 7, moving on out. Especially, it was very evident and clear during round 8. While you look at Liam Paro, Matias is a very slow starter, but once he gets going, he's going to throw a lot of punches every single round. So you got to keep up with that pacing. And he hits hard, and you got to keep up with the pacing. And he's going to be in your face, and he hits hard, and you got to keep up with the pacing. And I didn't see a dip in Liam Paro. I also didn't see a dip in Liam Paro when he took on Montana Love. I didn't see a dip in Liam Paro. I think that's going to be a huge factor in this fight. It's all about how bad do you want it. How bad do you want this? We already know how bad Paro wanted it. And I imagine how bad he would like to keep it. And it's funny because he's gotten this moniker like he's somebody you can push around. Every time he's in a press conference, people are always trying to bully him and push him around. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if he just comes across as a really nice guy or a really quiet guy. But I think it's more of a quiet guy. And sometimes, when you're a quiet guy, you don't come across as somebody you don't mess with. And maybe there's something that Richardson is seeing in him that he's like, I can definitely expose or exploit that. But at the same time, I'm not going to say this is a 50-50 fight. I'm going to say it's a 60-40 fight. But I think Richardson has a greater chance of an upset or win prior to round 6, 7. That's what I think. While I look at Paro, during the fight, it doesn't matter. I think, I don't really know much about Richardson's chin, but I know if Paro can keep Matias at a certain distance, who's a durable, strong guy, I'm pretty sure he can do the same thing with Richardson. Again, if you can take the punches of Matias, I'm pretty sure you can take the punches of Richardson. If you can keep Matias at distance, who loves to fight up close and personal, because that's his bread and butter, and he likes to batter you, then I believe you can do the same thing with him. And he's already shown with lesser fighters, Bowser, that he's not willing to commit all the way. So basically on everything here, I just have to go with Liam Paro. But last but not least, danger. Who's more dangerous? 25 wins, 15 knockouts. 18 wins, 7 knockouts. I got to go with Liam Paro. I think he's dangerous in the sense of cardio. I think he's dangerous in the sense of just being composed in boxing. And I think that the composure is going to be a big factor as well, because you've already fought the hardest hitting guy in the division, the scariest guy in the division. What's the guy who has 7 knockouts? Well, the likelihood, not saying that it cannot happen, but the likelihood of Richardson knocking out Paro is slim next to none. So yeah, I got to go with Liam Paro for the win. Now, do I think this is going to be a knockout? No. It's either going to be a unanimous decision or it's going to be a TKO. But I do see Liam Paro taking Richardson to deep waters, and I think his experience in the ring is going to play a big factor. I also think the sense of I've already fought the toughest guy in the division is going to play a huge mental factor for him. And I think that first opening round, or the first hard punch landed from Richardson, is going to be very eye-opening for Liam Paro, because he's going to say to himself, you know what? I think I can stay in the pocket all night, and you're going to get this double and triple jab all night long. That's what I think. Drop your thoughts down below.